How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Vagrants with us tonight, and he can say his name, what he does, all
What's
that
up,
jazz.
guys? This is Jose. I play guitar and sing in the band Vagrants.
There we go. Well, huge shout outs to Jason, as you mentioned. Big love to him.
Yeah.
But Jose, appreciate you for coming on. I know we've been trying to schedule it, so I'm glad we finally figured out a time that works. But been following your band for quite a minute now, so I'm excited to have you on. I wanted to talk about the new record as well, but we'll get into that. I wanted to know, how did Vagrant start out? How did you guys get your members? The whole anthology story. Give me the lowdown.
Okay, yeah, the deep dive, and thank you for the kind words, man.
No problem.
And thank you for checking out the record as well. Yeah, so we formed in Pensacola, Florida. I would say when we became like a serious band, probably around 2016, 2017, we kind of got our lineup together and like actually recorded and started putting out some music.
Yeah.
As opposed to, just like playing in a garage, literally. So, yeah, I started this band with our drummer, Anna. And, we've had a couple of different members over the years till we kind of locked in where we are now. But, yeah, I mean, we signed to Equal Vision Records at the end of 2018 and put out a EP called Separation, April of 2019. Thank you. And yeah, we toured on that for a bit and, all through 19 and then beginning of 20. And we got back from a tour we did with Hawthorne Heights and Emory in February, I think. And then, we all know what happens the month after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, honestly, like we were in a position to where it was time for us to get back into writing mode anyways. And we were, already had plans of trying to get back into the studio in 2020. So those definitely got delayed and pushed back like 6 or 8 months and rescheduled multiple times. But yeah, so yeah, eventually we recorded the record at the end of 2020 and now it's out. I think it's been out for like a month, which is crazy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout outs to Equal Vision. I feel like they always sign some of the coolest bands. And, obviously when you guys had signed originally, I was like, perfect label. Couldn't have picked the two things. How has Equal Vision been? I know I have a bunch of friends on Equal Vision, so I know that they're great, but I want to know your experience has been. How did they kind of find out about your band? Because I think that's what's most interesting about me and having different bands on that are like, how, like, people are like, how the hell do people get signed to these labels and stuff? So I'm curious how they kind of found out about Vagrants.
Yeah, for sure. So like Equal Vision was set at the top of our list as far as as far as labels that we wanted to like, oh, if we could get signed to Equal Vision, it'd be insane. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it was pretty crazy actually. Like we put out a song called Window Panes. I want to say it was like April or something of 2018, and we self-funded that and like shot a music video and whatnot. And our buddy's dad's office building actually, like we pulled all this stuff out of it. Yeah. So like, yeah, we shot the video for Window Panes and, we put it out and it was getting received pretty well. And we sent it over, we started shopping it to a couple different labels and whatnot. And didn't really hear anything back. So we're like, cool, no worries. Like we're going to go on to the next step. We know we were planning on going recording Separation, the EP. Yeah. So yeah, long story short, we ended up recording that. And when I got the masters, I sent that over to the email again, like, yo, like we reached out before, like, but just we got some new music and whatnot, and then I got an email back, which was pretty insane. Yeah, Dan Sanshaw hit me back, and that, of course, Dan is signed, like he's been, I think, with Equal Vision since like 90 something. It's a very long time.
Yeah, a long time.
He's been, has had a hand in a lot of different amazing legendary bands that were, very influential in our band. So it was pretty awesome. He like flew out and saw us. We did like a DIY tour and we played in Houston.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, and he actually flew out and met up with them. Got lunch and whatnot and saw the show, and I guess he liked what he saw and he then he was like, cool, let's do it. So yeah, the rest is history.
That's super cool because I've kind of heard very similar situations. Shoutouts to Kanashi, or label mates. That was a very similar situation. I had them on last year or maybe the year before, and they were talking about getting signed to Equal Vision as kind of a similar thing. So I'm glad they're so invested in their artists in that way. It's just really cool, at least for me as a fan and also just an interviewer. It's like good to hear those sorts of things. So obviously good on them, and big shout outs to Equal Vision as always.
Yeah, amazing people.
But I also give a shout out to Separation, because that was when I got into you guys, and I was just like, if these guys don't get signed soon-ish, I'll be surprised. And lo and behold, you guys got signed to Equal Vision, so that was really cool. It's just, it feels like, not that I like particularly guess these things, but I just, I've been doing this stuff for 6 years, so I have kind of a knack for, at least I
You
feel
manifested it, man.
manifested,
Yeah, you manifested it.
a little bit.
That's cool.
Little
Thank
bit.
you.
But it was really
Yeah.
cool. And then obviously, with the record Be Consumed out now, and you said it's been out for a month. How has that been? How has the fan reception been? I feel like, obviously with most bands releasing stuff in the pandemic, it's been really difficult. So have you guys like found new fans? Like, if people found out about your music, I'm just curious how that process has been going for you guys.
Yeah. The response so far has been really, really awesome, actually. And like, I mean, not that, I mean, metrics and things like that are so vain, but like, it's doing well as far as like streaming and like, video views or
Yeah.
whatever. But most importantly, just like people reaching out and like saying how much they love it or like have connected with it.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, that means more than anything else. So, we put out the first single September of last year, and then we've just kind of like played some shows and whatnot, and been playing the songs live already too.
Oh,
Like
very
half the
cool.
record we're already playing live. And live it was going over super super well. So we're like, okay, we can just get this thing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean we were definitely like a little like at least me personally, I felt like, oh, like it's been a couple of years since we put anything out or been able to put anything out really.
Sure.
Like, do people still care, or like um are we going to be able to reach people, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah,
And
sure.
thankfully, people, like I said, are react to it really well. So
That's
we got our album release show actually Friday, so we'll
oh,
see how it goes. We're gonna play the whole
that's
thing.
best of luck. Best of luck. I feel
Thank
like
you.
that's gonna be an experience if you live in Florida. Well, by the time this comes out, it'll be long past that, unfortunately. But if you do live in Florida, you're gonna have this. You're gonna have to go out and see Vagrants. But yeah, that's great. I'm glad. I really enjoyed Be Consumed. I'll probably wind up throwing it in like a I'm planning on doing like more of a monthly like or weekly kind of rotation of things that I'm listening to. So Be Consumed I've been listening to a lot just because I knew I was going to be having you guys on, and I feel like as an interviewer I got to do my homework a little bit. So I really enjoyed it. I'm about halfway through, so I'll have to let you know how the other half
Heck
is going.
yeah.
But
Yeah, shoot me a DM and let me know what your favorite song is, man. I'd love to
you
know.
you got it, Jose. Which, funnily enough, segues into my next question. For people who aren't familiar with Vagrants and they happen to stumble upon this interview, what would be one track you would recommend to a new listener to check out?
Um, I would say the first track on the record, "You Still Linger."
Oh, okay.
If you're coming across the band for the first time, I feel like that song definitely touches on a lot of different things that we do, as far as like big hooky choruses, but still has breakdowns and stuff like that. And just a lot of energy. And yeah, I feel like it's pretty representative of where we are, at least on the record sound wise.
I would argue that too, especially being halfway through. I feel like that's a pretty good indicator of the record. But guys, you can be the true test of that. So I'll
Yeah.
leave a link in the description. Go check it out. Please go buy it if you can. That'd be awesome. I'm sure Jose would greatly appreciate it. But
Please order a vinyl.
oh, I did not know that. I'm gonna have to do that. I am a vinyl loving fiend, so I have to.
Yes. Yeah, it's
You
our
spoke
first
the
vinyl
language
pressing.
love.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Awesome.
you're very excited about that. I mean, I don't know if you collect vinyls,
Yes.
but I'm sure you're like,
I do.
oh my
Yes, I've
god.
got some vinyls right over here, actually. I'm not like a huge avid collector or anything, but I definitely think they're awesome. And I think it's really cool to get something that's so tangible and you can open up and look at the liner notes and whatnot. Something we missed for a couple years there as CDs started to go out the
Yeah.
window. So, Spotify, as awesome as it is, it doesn't have that sort of connection you can get to the album or art or artist.
Yeah, it doesn't have that personal touch. That's why I love collecting. So I'll make sure to add that onto my list of ever growing vinyls. I'll definitely make sure to move that up the chain in priority of which ones I should buy. But
Thank you, man.
the next question I have for you, Jose, who you guys influenced by, who kind of got you started out and obviously doing guitars and vocal, and who influences you more currently now?
Yeah. I guess you mean like when I started playing guitar?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I started playing guitar when I was like 12 or 13. Um, and I was really into stuff like System of a Down
Oh, cool.
and My
Yeah.
Chemical Romance and Taking Back Sunday and stuff like that. Slipknot. I listened to a lot of I had a brother much older than me, so I got into heavy music at a very young age
Very
and
cool.
have still love it. You know what I mean? So, and then nowadays, my as far as like my tastes definitely have become more eclectic. Like bands like Radiohead are a big influence. I love a lot of dark pop stuff and whatnot too. Um, so yeah, kind of a mixed bag as far as influences go. As far as, definitely the big post-hardcore bands like, Norma Jean and Under Oath and stuff like that were big. Inspirations for us when we were putting this music together and whatnot, especially, I would say like the EP definitely was more indicative of that. But yeah, always looking for new music and I love it.
There we go. I do feel like when I was like again when I listened to Separation and getting into Vagrants and stuff, and then obviously listening to Be Consumed, I was like, okay, they got kind of this like Under Oath, kind of like almost Silverstein, kind of like real like in that classic like what I think of like nostalgic like post-hardcore bands, and I felt like you guys kind of evoke that sort of similar like sound and vibe, and I really appreciated that as someone who's old as shit. Like, I'm 29 and I'm still, still listening to it. For me, it's like I felt that like kind of nostalgia pull where I was like, I don't know if they're trying. I mean, obviously they are influenced by those artists, but like it doesn't feel like they're necessarily trying to be them, and I appreciate that because they're carving their own path. But it still has this sort of nostalgic feel, so it kind of feels
Sure.
like emo post hardcore, and that's my
Yeah.
bread and butter.
Yeah, me too, man. And I feel like it's just kind of imprinted into my guitar playing and like the way I approach songs writing as well. It's just that's what I grew up on and I still listen to. And so, you know, I don't think I can get away with that or get away from it too easy.
Certainly, certainly. And as you mentioned earlier, Jose, you said you went out with, I would say, arguably one of the bigger bands in emo, Hawthorne Heights, as well as a classic of mine, Emery. Love them to death, too.
Yes.
How was going out with them on tour? Because I feel like for me, I would just be giddy. Like, that would be something that I was just like, we're touring with the Hawthorne Heights? Like, that is
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, it was awesome, and they are amazing dudes as well, both them and Emery. I remember when we got the text, I was like, "We're going on tour with Emery." Like, it was pretty wild, man, for sure. And just getting to watch them play the Week's End every night, and they
Oh,
played some other stuff too. But like, yeah, that was a treat for sure. Honestly, I never really got into Hawthorne, like as far as like deep dove. Of course, I knew the
sure,
big
sure.
songs,
Yeah,
Nicky
yeah, yeah.
FM and all those. Um, but yeah, like Emery was took the cake for sure. That was great. I think we did like 3 weeks with them or something like that, just like an East Coast Florida sort of thing. And yeah, it was a great little taste of things to come right before the pandemic wiped that away.
Well, hopefully, again, you'll be back out on touring. I imagine you'll be coming out on tour up to my area. I live out in Pennsylvania, so I'll have to come out and see
Oh,
you guys
cool.
rip a gig. Very excited about that.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, Next question for you, Jose. Keeping it more current. What are you jamming recently? What's on your Spotify? What have you been listening to lately?
Let me pull up I have my phone right here. Let me pull up my Spotify.
There we go. Even better.
Okay, this is kind of skewed because Anna was cooking dinner and was like playing random things on my Spotify. Um, Today I was listening to CNVire.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing band. This new artist called Iris.exe, which is like a hyper pop, glitchy sort of pop thing, but she definitely has a background, I believe, from like sort of the core world or whatnot. Definitely check
Oh,
that out. She's
I'll have to
put out an
check that out.
EP.
Yeah.
Yeah. The new Bad Omens record I've been jamming a lot.
Ooh, yeah, nice.
Super, super good. What else? All the new Alexis on Fire singles. Give me them all.
Chef's Kiss. Love it. I'm so excited for that new record. It's going to be woo, so good.
Yeah, it's amazing. The new Static Dress record is amazing as well.
Oh,
Those
yes.
those are up there for me.
big shout outs to Static Dress. They're like, again, if you guys did a tour together, whew, I would
I
die
know.
very happy.
Yeah. That would be awesome if they ever come to the States, when they come to the States, because I know they inevitably will. Definitely.
I would
Definitely would
be,
love to play with them.
I would, as soon as that announced, just send me a link. I'll buy that ticket and we'll go
Let's
out to that
go.
show. Be so great. But
Yeah.
I like that you talked about them. Road Carpet Disaster, fantastic. If you guys haven't checked that out, go do so. I mean, but go check out
Okay.
Vagrants first, then go check out Static Dress, then you'll thank me later. But
Listen to both of us. Yeah.
listen
If
to
you
both.
like one, you'll probably like the other.
There's probably, if there was a Venn diagram, we probably right in the middle would be both, and you'd enjoy both.
I'll take it.
Next question, Jose, keeping it fun. If you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
We've covered some stuff live before. Um,
Okay.
I'm gonna say something by System of a Down is what I would want to cover.
All right.
I don't think I could convince half the band to want to do that, but I know Anna would be for it probably. But
Oh, okay.
I
So
feel
then
like that would,
it'd be a 2-1 decision.
yes, yeah. And then Forrest, who plays bass for us live and tours with us and whatnot too. He's not in the System of a Down, I don't think so. I know Bryce definitely not, because I brought it up before actually. He was like, no way.
He's like, nah, man, I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
if you could pick a song, Jose, which do you have one in mind that you cover?
By System,
Yes.
something off Hypnotize and Mesmerize,
Ooh,
probably.
okay. Classics.
Yeah, maybe Dreaming or Question, something like that.
Ooh, all right. I would be
Yeah,
down to hear that. That would be very
yeah.
cool. I mean, listen, my opinion means absolutely nothing, but I would be about it. I'm a
Yeah,
huge
I
System of a
feel
Down fan.
like what we've done before, we've like covered like bands that like aren't too dissimilar from us genre
Sure.
wise, and
Yeah.
it's like I don't really want to do that again. It'd be more fun to do something that's totally off the wall, or do like an anime theme song or something like that. I don't
Ooh.
know.
Okay.
Yes.
You have any OSTs in mind that you feel like you would rock?
How about like an emo version of Simple and Clean from like Kingdom Hearts, Like why hasn't that been done yet?
Listen, you guys could be the first to do it right now.
Or
Just saying.
you're gonna have to edit that part out. Figure it
So
out.
you can get started on it now, and then I'll throw the
Yes.
clip back in once it's. Yeah, I got you.
Once it's out, yeah.
I got you, Jose. That's very cool, guys. If you have any suggestions for Vagrants, drop them in the comments. I mean, as being a nerd myself, I have to see the Kingdom Hearts one. At first, I thought it was System of a Down, but the nerd culture is just too strong. So
Yeah.
I might have to go with that. That might have to be my choice, honestly. If I had
Yeah,
to
yeah.
put my token in the cup, that's it.
I'd be so down. That'd be like a dream come true. If we ever got asked to do a song for an anime or something, it'd be fucking cool.
Let's make it happen, guys. But next question I have for you, Jose. If you guys could pick somebody to collaborate with, whether it be a guest vocalist on an up-and-coming Vagrants record or a producer you'd like to work with in the future, who would it be?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
We got to work with Matt Goldman
Oh,
on
nice.
Be
Okay.
Consumed, and that would have been my answer if you would have asked me that, a couple years ago.
Sure.
As far as producers go, there's a new producer. Well, he's not new, but he's doing a lot of records that are blowing up right now. His name's Dan Bronstein. He's doing
Oh, yes.
did the new
Dan Bronstein. Yeah.
Dayseeker and Spirit Box and stuff like that. And I feel like working with him would be pretty cool. Will Putney, I think, would be amazing too. I think either of those would be pretty badass.
Ooh, okay.
John
Yeah.
Feldman, I would see what would happen there.
Yeah, he's done some pretty interesting heavy work as well. So I mean,
He has, yeah.
not to discredit him at all. He does.
Not at all.
He's got some great track history. But
Yeah.
I have a slight bias because I used to live in New Jersey. So Will Putney is just
Right.
like the goat to me. But
Yeah.
yeah, Daniel Bronstein's been killing it. So I feel like that would be the best. If I had my choice, I feel like Daniel Bronstein would be pretty sick. Or the I forget his name, the guy who does like Loathe and like Sleep Token. Those
Oh
those types
yeah,
of bands.
George Lever.
I think it's George Lever. Yeah, you're correct. So
Yeah.
he would
Yeah,
be really
he's-
cool.
Yeah, he's really good as well. But across the pond.
that might cost a little
Yeah.
something.
Yes. Wait till we get our Equal Bucks up first. We gotta we gotta stack our tokens, Equal
Yeah,
tokens.
you gotta put in you gotta put in a little bit of extra money in that. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
but that'd be really cool.
It would be
Maybe a mix or master.
true.
That's always there. That's always the option.
True.
Next question I have for you, Jose. You play guitar, you also sing, but if there was another musical instrument you could master, what would it be?
Hmm. Um, I started picking up piano over the pandemic
Oh,
and just it
nice.
was like teaching myself. I've always wanted to learn. Where I can play chords and kind of play play songs. Just well enough to sing along with, but I can't
Yeah.
like shred any Bach or anything like that. Johann Sebastian. So I feel like if I could, I feel like that'd be the most practical if I could be a master of the piano. But didgeridoo is my official answer.
That's your true
That's,
calling, yeah.
yeah, it's my official answer is didgeridoo.
Oh man, I don't know how you would sneak that in on a Vagrants record, but I would be very impressed. Maybe like just slightly before a breakdown, or
Yeah,
a didgeridoo breakdown,
that's
Just
right.
again, we'll have to cut that
20
out because you'll have to do it first, and then I'll throw it in to say that you guys.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2022 we're gonna get rid of the Zildjian bell. No more Zildjian bell before breakdowns. We're going didgeridoo only.
You guys heard it here first.
Yes.
I don't want to be the one that starts all this stuff, but if it happens, it happens. I can't confirm or deny that. But
Yeah.
the next question I have for you, Jose, as I mentioned, I'm a huge nerd, so I love to ask this question. If you could be a video game character, who would you be?
Oh, well, that's kind of
Yeah, I would argue might be the most difficult question that I
yeah.
have to ask.
What instrument I want to master? No, no
No
problem. I
question.
had that one ready. Roll. Well, the kind of the tricky thing here is right. If it's an RPG, then I can really be anything that I want to be.
You might have found the loophole here.
Yeah, that's my answer though.
Any specific RPG?
Um, again over the pandemic, I finally started playing Skyrim. I'd never played Skyrim,
Ooh, okay,
um,
okay, very neat.
so yeah, yeah. So I would pick Skyrim,
All right.
Dragonborn, if you will.
Very cool. I like that. You really did like fuck up my question, but I appreciate it because, honestly, that's how I know you're a true nerd is that you're like, listen, let me analyze
I
this.
did think about it. Yeah.
Can I somehow like distort this in a way that would make sense? So I appreciate your answer. I don't like
Yeah.
it because it hurts my feelings, but I appreciate that you went there with such like vigor. So
Sure. Always.
next question I have for you, Jose. If you were to compile a dream tour lineup, who would be on it? Obviously, including Vagrant.
Yeah. Um, Megadeth is
Ooh.
headlining.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
We're direct support Megadeth. My Chemical Romance opens for us, and then Slipknot is the opener for the whole show. But they're playing with no masks and no props on stage. It's just them, like local band status. No lights, nothing.
Whoa.
Slipknot is a local band. That's
Slipknot
what
is
I
a
want.
local band.
Yeah, that's my answer.
I like that. That's pretty interesting. And funnily enough, I saw this band called Vended, and it's
Oh
actually
yeah.
I think it's Corey Taylor's son, and I forget which other member of Slipknot is like
Clown.
also their I
Yeah.
think it's Clown's son, and
Yeah.
they're in a band together. And I saw them. Shout outs to First Unitarian Church in Philadelphia. I saw them play, and I literally thought I was seeing like baby Slipknot perform right in front of my eyes, and it was very strange.
Yeah, yeah. I actually saw them on that Code Orange tour. I went wearing a Code Orange shirt now that I bought
Yes.
at the show. Um, yeah, and I went to see Code Orange and Loathe, and yeah, got to see Vended and Dying Wish, and both those bands are great.
Yeah, shout outs to Dying Wish. I saw them for the first time a couple months, like when Loathe did that headliner in Philadelphia, and I was like, how did I not see this band before? Like, they're fantastic. So shout outs to Dying Wish. Love them to death right now. So really killing
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Their record they put out, I guess 2021 or whatever, was awesome.
So good, so good. And as well, Loathe, goes without saying, love them so much.
Oats.
Fantastic.
That's a band
Chef's
I would
kiss.
love to tour with. Like, No cap. That is,
Listen,
they're up
loathe,
there.
loathe, Vagrants, Static Dress. I'm just saying, guys,
Let's go.
let's
Let's
make it happen.
go.
That
Yep.
would be the dream for me personally.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. That'd be amazing.
The next
If
question
you're
I have.
watching this, the answer is yes, we will do the tour.
Let's go, guys. All right. So what you have to do is you have to go on Twitter and then tag Loathe, Vagrants, Static Dress, Tour, question mark. I don't know. That's like, I don't know how to make tours, but I think that's how you do it. I'm saying.
I'm gonna leave that up to you. That's up to you to do.
There we go.
And then if it happens, it happens. Yeah.
If it happens, I just want my name like very smallly printed, like in the bottom, like right-hand corner of the poster.
If it happens, we'll print shirts that have your face on it and sell them on the tour.
Oh man. All right, guys. Well, listen, you heard it here first. If that happens, your boy's gonna get a shirt with
Yes.
Vagrants on it, and I'm all about that. So
The stakes are high.
the stakes are very high for me, just especially me.
Yes, yeah.
The next question I have for you, Jose, kind of in the same lane. In your opinion, who puts on a great live performance in terms of the bands that you've seen?
I think Code Orange is one of the best live bands that's touring right now.
Oh yeah, agreed.
It's just as far as like their visuals go and their performances, absolutely amazing. I would say since shows have been back, that has been one that has definitely stuck with me. Just as far as like you're in the crowd and you're immersed, in everything. I think that would be the one. I think that as far as like the one, if you asked me, another day, I'd probably give you a different answer, but that, definitely sticks out in my mind.
Are you going to any shows coming up that you're excited to see?
No, because we're trying to get stuff, like shows like playing for us and whatnot. We're practicing a ton and getting ready for these album release shows and whatnot. So I just saw the Crown the Empire tour that just came through here the other night. Though.
Okay.
And that was pretty sweet. Got to see the Word Alive, and yeah, great band, great dudes.
Shouts to them.
They took us out on our first tour ever, actually.
Oh, very neat, very neat. Shouts to the Word Alive. Would love to have Telly on. He's my guy.
Telly's the man. Yep.
And also shouts to my friend Dan. He is drumming for the Word Alive, and I love.
He is. Yes, I saw him the other night, and we kicked it. It was great to see him. I used to play. His old band Limbs used to play shows with us. So
Love Limbs. Seeing them Sunday in Philadelphia. So very excited.
nice. Yeah, definitely go check out that tour. Callous Boys is playing that. That's another band. We play with Callous Boys, and I got to watch it. Side stage. I think they played right before us, which was. Anna, do you remember if they played right before us or after Callous Boys? Either way, I was like, nothing we do matters because nothing beats like there's like 9 people on the stage.
Oh my
God,
God.
6 or 7 actually.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I think they played right after us actually. But yeah, and the energy was just crazy and yeah, that is a band to watch out for.
I've seen some live clips, and I've been trying to not watch them as I've heard they are an insane live band. So I wanted to just have that like first time moment of just seeing them and being just in utter shock, So I've seen little teensy little clips on YouTube and stuff, and some friends of mine who went to go see them at South by So What recently. I was like, that's it. That's all I need to watch, and then I'm gonna go see them on Sunday and be like blessed with their presence. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm bummed. We're actually playing Orlando the same night as the Limbs tour is playing Orlando. So like I texted, some of the dudes from Limbs. I was like, yo, like I know we can't see each other's shows, but let's at least go to Wawa afterwards and like get a quesadilla or something.
Also, big shout outs to Wawa. I live in Pennsylvania, and that is listen, everybody can fight me, but Wawa is the best. I know people say Buc-ee's. I have not tried Buc-ee's yet, but I hear that's also great. So
yeah, Buc-ee's is cool. Like I'm vegetarian, so Buc-ee's I can get like a cup of nuts or something at Buc-ee's versus like after a show I can actually get a meal at Wawa. So I'm team Wawa for sure.
There we go, Wawa. Go sponsor Vagrant side. And if you want to sponsor me, that'd be great too, because listen, I would not say no to a Wawa sponsorship.
Give me some gift cards, Wawa.
Send us both gift cards. Listen, we have done so much good promoting. I want to give a shout out to Wawa. So I love them so much, and also the fact that they are just open at obscene hours of the night. So big shout outs to them.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, Next question I have for you, as much as I'd love to shill for Wawa, um, what is your favorite TV show slash favorite movie, Jose?
Hmm. Probably
Anime
something
is
Tarant.
on the table, just in case you didn't, you know.
Okay, yeah, that was my next question. Something Tarantino as far as
Ooh,
movies
okay, yeah.
go, like yeah, definitely um depends on how I'm feeling as far as which is my favorite. Probably Kill Bill 2.
Ooh,
Um,
nice, classic.
yeah. And as far as TV show, probably Yu Yu Hakusho is probably my favorite anime of all time.
Ooh, all right, all right.
Oh, it's up there for me.
There we
Yeah.
go. That's a classic. You know, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's the one series I haven't like delved into. I've been trying to like go
Oh,
back and watch some of the like classic ones. I just finished Evangelion because I've
oh,
seen
cool.
it, but I forgot how messed up it was as a kid. I was
That's
just like,
crazy.
"Oh my god, robots! This is so sick! They're just like slicing each other in half. That's awesome!" And then I watched it as an adult, and I'm like, "This is sad as fuck!" Like,
Yes.
why would ever anybody want to like enjoy this? Like, why do people love this show so much? I'm like, like, it's sad. It's so
Yes,
sad.
that was a pandemic watch for me. Like in 2020, I went back and rewatched that because I'd watched it on Adult Swim as a kid,
Yeah,
right?
same.
And
Yeah.
of course, it's like, oh yeah, cool, like you said, big robots, fighting each other. But and then you like pay attention to the dialogue. This is pretty dark.
It gets so
Uh,
deep. It's so bad.
yeah.
Oh my
Also,
god.
Berserk. I watched Berserk for the first
Oh,
time
okay.
probably 3 years ago, and that was insane. But you've got to watch Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay. I'll definitely message you, Jose, and be like, "Yo,
Yes.
this is lit. I love it." You know,
It's
because
only a
I
couple seasons. It's not that bad.
yeah, because I'm watching right now. I'm watching. I'm not watching anything crazy. I'm watching like more slice of life type stuff, but um, I've been trying to get back into. I loved Bleach, so I'm rewatching Bleach again, and Chef's Kiss. That's fantastic. I love
Me
Bleach.
too. Yeah, me and Anna restarted it. I think we're on like season 5 or something like that.
I'm not gonna start, guys. If you ask me in the comments, I'm not gonna start One Piece. I would love to have
No.
a life outside of just
Yes.
doing interviews and also, enjoying life in general. So I'm sorry, but I'll be way past dead if I watch all of One Piece.
One Piece pisses me off because I feel like, at least for what I did watch, I stopped after like probably 20 episodes or something like that. Because the first 10 minutes, I feel like, of the episode is a recap, and then the last 10 minutes is like a post cap and a preview of the next episode. I'm definitely exaggerating, but it's what it feels like. It's like, okay, why am I doing this? If somebody could just make like an abridged version where they chop all that shit out, I would watch it. And it
they
would
just
probably
make
be like
like they
half as
just
long.
make like they just make like a real just like fast. They hit the fast forward button like 1.5, so everything just like everything's cruising at a nice pace. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Let's
No
go.
knock, no knock to One Piece, but I feel like it's just an incredibly long series that I don't unfortunately have enough time to devote to.
Yeah.
So,
A
uh,
life.
a lifetime. You're right. You're right, Jose. Next question I have for you: if you were trapped on a desert island, Jose, for the next month, and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what would it be?
Hmm. Uh, Three cheers for sweet revenge, maybe. Um, Define the Great Line, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I feel like that those both those albums have like an insane amount of replayability, and I've
Oh yeah.
worn them both out. But every time either of those comes on, I'm still like just as stoked. I'm like, okay, yeah,
You're like, yeah, let's
yeah,
go. Yeah, I
yeah.
feel that. Is Define the Great Line your favorite Under Oath record?
I don't know that it is. I think a Lost in the Sound might be
My guy.
my favorite. Yeah, just as far as like I don't know. There's just so much like raw aggression in that record.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but you can't argue with like all the songs and Find the Great Line. And that's
Oh,
when I got it. That's when I got into the band. That's when that record came out as well. So it just has a special place in my heart.
that's fair. I feel like that. I feel like that's true because I think I got into them with they're only chasing safety, and then got into Define, Love Define, and then once we got into Lost and Separation, I was just like, nah, this is peak. This is it.
Yes.
Anytime
Yeah.
anybody argues with me about that not being their favorite Under Oath record, I'm like, it's okay to have that opinion. It's wrong, but it's okay to have that opinion. And
Yep.
the only reason I argue it is just because I feel like it's kind of like the best of They're Only Chasing Safety, Define, and then like those two albums had a baby, and that's what Lost is. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my argument for it.
For sure. I never really, honestly, like it took me a while to get into Chasing Safety just because it's so kind of poppy at times and
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, certainly.
I don't, yeah. Um, I like poppy stuff, but I don't know, for whatever reason, it just took me a while to get into that record, but now I really like it. There's some great songs in there too, but um, there's also some cringy ones.
There are. That is
Yeah.
big facts. There are some cringy ones. I went back and listened to it once they released that like box set of all three records,
Mhm.
and I put it on my record player, and I was just like, "Yo, some of these like I love them to death. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm like some of them are hella cringe, and it like I get it, but it was a time, it's a time capsule, as some might say,
Sure.
but I was like, yeah, I don't know. I was like, I can't skip it because it's on a record player and I'm not trying to ruin the needle. So I'll just be like, I'll just listen to it. So,
Yeah.
but I like your choices, also, again, being from, previously from New Jersey, and My Chem, fantastic band as well. So, glad,
Legend.
legendary, as some might say. Glad they're back as well. So, kudos on
Yes.
that.
Yeah, hopefully I can finally see them now. I've still not seen them.
I have not either, but I would also love to see them. I don't know
Crazy.
when they're playing Philadelphia again, but I will have to
Hmm.
keep my eyes
My
peeled.
thing is, I don't want to see them on a festival because I don't really like, if I'm being honest, I don't really like festivals, at least from an audience perspective.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Um, so like I definitely want to see them on like a East Coast
like
club
a
tour
tourney.
or
Yeah.
arena tour, and they're, you know, whatever.
Just come up to
I'm
Philly,
d-
Jose. We'll go. You, me, and Anna will go to my chem show.
I'm down. Let's go.
All right. Last question I have for you, Jose. I've been asking this to a lot of the acts I've been having on recently. Obviously, this is very pertinent to your newest record, Be Consumed. What do you want people to take away from Vagrants, whether it be from a lyrical perspective, a musical perspective, or kind of a combination of the two? With the release of your newest record, Be Consumed, are there anything specifically that you want people to, know about Vagrants and what they're about through Be Consumed, or any of your previous records?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so Be Consumed, which is our first record we've ever put out, is a very like personal record for me. It definitely
Mm-hmm.
was a way for me to work through like a lot of stuff I had kind of held down for a long time, stuff from my childhood, and just I've struggled with mental health. For most of my life. I was diagnosed with manic depression and anxiety when I was like 13. So, you know it definitely was me grappling with a lot of those emotions and kind of and getting them out, and honestly it was a very therapeutic time for me. Like I feel after making that record, I feel like kind of like a weight is lifted in a way, and
Yeah.
and so I don't know, I guess I just hope that whoever listens to it can kind of also relate to some of those things and find their own um, solace in that, like I did with records when I was, 13, 14, or however old you are, discovering music, and I still to this day do. So yeah, I just hope people relate to it, connect to it, and listen to it.
Yeah, no, certainly. And I feel like, big topic on my channel here of audio addiction has been mental health, because I've definitely said in a couple of different videos that I've done, I also struggle with like mental health and stuff, and especially I think a lot of people can kind of resonate with feeling those sorts of things, a little bit more exponentially because of the pandemic and stuff. And I feel like, in some cases it brought out the worst in people, and I felt like this record, even only being halfway through, I felt a lot of connection to it, just because again, I've dealt with those sorts of things, and there's some days where I feel great and there's some days where I feel like shit, and I think albums like this are really important, and obviously I want to try to promote them. So please go check out Vagrants, Be Consumed, and hopefully you get something out of it, and take from it as you will, and I'm sure Jose and I, if you message us, I'm sure if you're dealing with something, we'll be more than glad to listen to you in regards to, problems you might be dealing with. I feel like that
Absolutely.
I've always had that door available and open, so please feel free to reach out. But
Yep.
like I said, I've been really enjoying the album Be Consumed. I'm excited to get into the second half and just like message you and be like, oh my God, it's amazing. I love it. But it's kind of this perfect mix of like I said, it has this nostalgia, but also it's just so modern in the way that it's kind of written too. So I feel like you guys kind of straddle that line between like just feeling nostalgic and then also trying to branch out and do different things, which is I feel like hard to do as a band. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
thank you so much for saying that. It's very kind. And yeah, that's absolutely what we're trying to do, make music that we like, but is also, you know, um, trying to grow through songwriting as far as like getting better each time and whatnot. And, it is a craft, as contrived as that
yeah.
fields to say. So it's something that we're always working on.
And do you have a favorite track, Jose? I know it's like picking your favorite child, I imagine, but do you happen to have a song on the record specifically that you're more connected to? I know you mentioned one that you would recommend to new listeners, but is there one that you have that you're just like, that's my baby, I love it?
Yeah, if you would have asked me this probably like a couple weeks ago before we started rehearsing the entire record, like now I feel like I have a different perspective and different kind of love for it.
Sure, yeah.
It's cool to because like we wrote and recorded that record like I said at the end of 2020, and
Hmm.
then I haven't played some of the songs live, but the rest of them have kind of just been files sitting on a computer, if you will. So I Skin and Bone I feel like is was a very important song for me personally. Same thing with Day by Day. Those are very um, songs that I needed to write. I would say those two. Those two, I feel like. I will say though, playing Failure, which is I think is like track 3 on the record or something like that. I'm very excited to play that one live because the energy is there, and
Oh yeah.
I don't feel like we've ever had like a true ass beater in our set before, but that's the one.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, guys, again, Be Consumed is out, so go check it out. That was not intentional. I didn't mean to rhyme that, but somehow it worked. But anyway, the last thing, guys, Jose, tell the people where they can find you at on social media, where they can find Vagrants, obviously, and what you guys have coming up in the next couple months. Will be out in like middle July time, roughly.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for everybody who's stuck around and watched this whole thing. You can find Vagrants on whatever social media you use at Vagrants Band, except for Twitter, because there's a band who's been inactive for a lot of years who's Vagrants. So we're Vagrants_band on Twitter.
Oh,
Um,
I feel that.
yeah. So yeah, just as far as what's coming up next for the band, I mean, we're trying to lock in some tours for the fall and stuff. We've submitted for some stuff. Cross your fingers we get it. Hopefully come see us in your city. If not, we'll get there as soon as we can, and we're gonna play these songs for you. So learn the words and come sing them at me.
There we go. Well, guys, listen, you've been here for a whole 45 minutes. You need to go check out Vagrants. Their new album, Be Consumed, is out now. Go purchase it. If you're a vinyl fiend, much like myself, I'm going to go purchase it because this is my vice and this is the only thing I spend my extra money on, so I'm going to do it. But go pick it up. Huge shout outs to Jason. Lovely dude. Thanks for getting this set up, and big shout outs to him. But again, go check out Vagrants on all social media. If you want them to hit your city, just message them and tell them come to Brazil or something. I know that's the joke. I'm not gonna.
We got one of those the other day. I was dying
That was
laughing.
completely unintentional, but I see it on every band's post
Dude,
when they're like,
I sent a screenshot to like our band chat, text chat, and I was like, "We finally made
"We
it,
did it!
guys.
Yeah, we're done. We can do it."
We finally got the come to Brazil text. It's amazing."
Well,
Sorry to
if you
interrupt.
actually do want them to come to Brazil, make sure to message them. I'm
I
sure
would love that.
they would love to go to Brazil, I'm sure. But if you want to see them in any city, I'm very excited. I hope that they play Philadelphia, fingers crossed. But go check them out. If you really want them to tour your city, just go buy a record, and I'm sure that will help them tremendously get to your city.
Yes.
So go do that. If you enjoyed this interview, share, like, subscribe, do all the things. It would be greatly appreciated. And huge thanks to Jose for coming on tonight and talking about Vagrants.
Yeah, man. Happy to be here.